So nice to myself. I'm so nice to myself. So nice to myself.
Welcome to Rhythm Night!
Rhythm Night!
Welcome, EFAM.
Welcome. That was a great intro. I feel like we really came in strong there. That was very
Solid.
good.
My name is Chelsea Reynolds. I'm the Central Elevation Youth Director.
And I'm
here
Ryan
at-
Hollingsworth.
Yeah, what do you do?
I do a lot of things. I'm a creative director here. I oversee some designers and videographers and lots of stuff.
All
so.
the creative stuff. But
It's awesome.
welcome to Rhythm Night. I don't
Welcome.
know if you're new here. Maybe we've got some new people.
Yes.
We can see your comments, so comment where you're tuning in from.
Yes.
We've already got people from Jamaica and
Nigeria.
Germany, Richmond, Virginia.
Also an exotic location.
West Africa. Did I say-
Japan.
Yeah,
Wow.
Texas.
Texas.
So keep
It's
commenting.
like its own country.
That's what I hear. So keep commenting. Tell us where you're tuning in
Yes.
from. And maybe you've never been to Rhythm Night. Maybe you've never seen a Rhythm
Yes.
Night.
Chelsea, can you tell the people what maybe a Rhythm Night is, if it is indeed their first time?
Yes, Rhythm Nights are our monthly experiences for the youth of our church. When I say youth, I mean our middle schoolers and high schoolers.
Yep.
When I say middle and high school, I mean 6th grade through 12th grade. So
If
I
you don't know what 6th and 12th grade is,
Yeah.
then I don't know how to help you. Ages 11 to
Through
maybe 18 or
18.
19-ish,
Yes.
depending on, something like that.
So we hang
11,
out-
is that too young? I don't know.
No, that's about right.
Okay.
I think that's right. Where we come to all of our different campuses in
Yes.
Charlotte, in Raleigh, in Roanoke.
Roanoke.
All of our physical locations, the youth of our church come together. We've got our small group leaders here. And as you can see behind us, we're just hanging out.
We're having Friendsgiving tonight. It looks like Hogwarts in here, like this big
the
long table. Yes.
Is great.
Very-
So friends,
Patronus. That's something, right?
I guess.
I think
yes.
so.
So I don't know if you've heard of Friendsgiving, but we're hanging out with our friends and we're having a Thanksgiving
It's
meal.
like Thanksgiving with your buds.
Yes.
Yes. Instead of gam, it's your buddy.
Yes.
That's Friendsgiving.
Friendsgiving.
Yeah.
So Thanksgiving, at least here where we're at,
Yes.
is
In 4 days.
Thursday. Right?
Thursday, yes.
Yeah, 4
I did the
days.
quick math, yeah,
That's
4
great.
days.
So what does your family do for Thanksgiving?
Oh, there's a lot of eating involved.
Oh, yes.
And it's usually it's like a progressive dinner. Like we go from house to house and
Yes.
then just stuff ourselves.
We-
And then there's a nap that lasts, it's like the nap to end all naps. You just disappear. And it's-
Until Black Friday.
Until Black Friday.
Yeah.
I'm not a Black Friday guy. My sisters, they like it, but me,
Yeah.
I'd rather just die on a couch.
I go for the moral support.
You go Black Friday
I
shopping?
go just because
Oh.
I have serious FOMO, so I don't want to miss out on
What are you going to miss out on? Like a $6 toaster? That's
no,
not
no.
worth getting up for.
not like FOMO of the deals, but FOMO of the funny people. Any people watchers out there, let me know if you like going to see the crazy
Like those people who plow into Walmart at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Ready
I don't want to just hear about it on the news. I want to
just
see it for
destroy
myself.
somebody over a Tinker toy or something like that. Yeah. Tinker toys? That's still
No.
all right.
But you know what is still a thing?
Yes.
The Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade is a thing. Do you
Yeah.
watch it? Let
Listen.
us know. Yes or no to the Thanksgiving Day Parade.
I love Christmas, but the Thanksgiving Day parade, it's just
do you not know about it?
I don't get parades in general.
I mean,
What
you
am I
get-
doing? I'm gonna go stand and watch traffic.
No,
And I'm just gonna
no.
watch you cart some giant balloon down the
No,
road
they're
and
like-
watching some marching bands.
They're your favorite characters and your favorite things. I don't know, like Snoopy. Is he a character? Yeah, he's like
So
Snoopy.
why do I want to see him floating through the air? And
It's like a rite of passage. It's like when that happens, you know Christmas is just around the corner, right?
I mean,
Right?
sure,
Come on,
sure.
support me.
Okay,
So
maybe that.
Maybe that. But we wanted to play a game with you. So like I
Yes.
said, I can see your comments. We are going to vote on your favorite float. Vote for the float.
Vote for the float.
Vote the float.
I guess. What's a float? Is a float the floating balloons, or is it like the thing that's covered in crepe paper?
It's probably that one. But we're
But
going to go.
those are called floats too, right? They're both
They're
floats.
floating in the air.
Something like that.
So you're going to see on the screen around us. There it is.
Hold on, here we go. Let me zoom.
Yep. All right.
We'll
we're
start here at
backwards.
number 1.
Yeah, that way. Oh.
Mister, that's a young potato head because he doesn't have a mustache or a top hat. So that's
Yep.
There's number 1, the young potato head. Number 2, Detective Pikachu.
Make sure you're voting. Be voting.
Vote. Number 3, this rat. What is that thing?
That's the little squirrel from Ice Age.
Scrat?
Is that
Scrat.
his name?
I think
Yeah.
that's something. Maybe that's right.
I
All right.
don't know if he's gonna win.
Next, down here, the Pillsbury Doughboy.
I love
Look,
some
if you
crescent
poke
roll.
him, woohoo! Something like, right? I do
pretty
love a
good.
good crescent roll.
I do too.
And then under here, nothing says Christmas like SpongeBob. This is why I don't like this parade. This doesn't even make sense.
He's wearing a Santa
Why
hat.
do I
Okay?
want to go stand outside and see this?
Do it for the kids.
For the children. All right. And then over here, your favorite neighborhood web slinger, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. So vote.
Spider-Man.
1,
All
2,
right.
3, 4, 5, 6.
We've got
Pick
a
your
2,
favorite.
a 3, a 6, a 5. So far, 1 is in the lead. Keep commenting.
The potato head.
I don't know.
Okay.
Pikachu, like his ears are 2 different sizes.
I think that's perspective. It's hard to tell.
Okay. Okay.
Spider-Man, though, look, he's got like dimension to him. Like he's like
He does.
leaping forward.
It'd be terrible if those things like deflated in the air and came down.
Again,
That'd be
like I don't even,
traumatizing.
why do you even want to watch it on TV? Like I'll at least, man, I don't understand.
So
All right.
so far, Spider-Man is in the lead.
Do you guys like parades? Is it just me? I don't know about
What
parades.
is your comment below what your favorite part about parades are? Is it the marching band? Is it the like free candy that's thrown out? Is it I don't
Nope.
know. I don't know. Let us know.
None of it. My favorite part of a parade, when it's over.
When it's
Speaking of over, I think we're going to go over to our friends, Colleen and
we
Justice,
are.
and they're outside. I think they're going to do something with some of our other friends, and it's cold, so I'm glad we're inside and they're outside.
Yeah.
But take it away, guys.
Yeah, you guys really lucked out on getting to be the ones inside here. And also, Ren, I don't know why you hate parades so much. Parades are wonderful. But, we have some of our BFF youth here.
Acclaimed best friends,
And,
hopefully.
in honor of Friendsgiving, we're going to do a little BFF competition and really see who's gonna take home the gold
Absolutely.
today.
I'm excited to play these games tonight. It's
They're
going to be
great.
a blast. But hey, we just wanted to remind you real quick, share this experience.
That's
it's
right.
going to be a lot of fun. This is just the beginning, so it's not too late. So share that. But I want to get to know these people a little bit. And I
Yes.
think since we're playing a game, they should also have a team name.
I could not agree more. So let's start on this side of the table. Guys, we're going to need to know your name and then your collective team name. So names first.
I'm Rochelle. I'm Kaylee. And we're the Cobras.
The Cobras.
The Cobras. That's a great team name.
I love it.
I love it.
Okay, name and then team name.
I'm Abby. I'm Ansley. And we're A squared.
A
Wow, they
squared.
have a
I
hand
love
signal
that.
for that. That's great.
I love that. Okay, name and then team name.
Benson, Jerice,
And then what's your team name?
SK.
Hey, what's
S-
it stand for? Don't tell me. I don't want
No,
to
we
know.
don't. We
I
do
don't
not.
wanna
We do
know.
not need to know that. And so, okay, guys, there's going to be 3 rounds to this competition. So for this first round, what you're going to do is you and your BFF are going to decorate a pie. But here's the catch. One of you is going to be the arms for the other person. So you guys have seen this done before. So you're going to have 30 seconds to decorate the best pie that you can. So I need you guys to choose who's your decorator and who is the face of the competition.
Decorator and face. Let's do it. You're the arms?
This is going to be great. How everyone's looking good. This looks supernatural. This is going to be great.
Be sure and use all the ingredients and communicate well.
Is everybody
Communicate well.
here? If you can put your arms down low, put your arms down there. Yep, there you go. All right, you guys feel good? All right.
30 seconds.
30 seconds on the clock. Ready, set, decorate.
Put a
There-
dot. That does not
This
look
is
like a dot,
there's
Benson.
no
But keep
whipped
going.
cream
Keep
coming
going.
out of this can. Come on, you got it. Use your muscles. Okay.
I like that. Don't get that
she's
on me.
Doing a nice rim here around the pumpkin pie.
Okay, nothing's coming out.
I'm not sure what we're going. That is a jelly bean.
This could use some M&Ms
this
a little
is-
bit. Hey, Efam, as we're doing
filled
this,
in
let
with
us
the jelly
know.
bean
Let us
here.
know who should be
4
winning.
seconds. 3, 2, 1. Stop decorating. I'd just like you guys to see some of this here.
I
don't
love
know if the cameras can get
Can
this.
they get this? That looks
This
really
actually
good,
is pretty
actually.
good. Compared to that one, I thought this was bad, but not compared to
I'll
the other
take
ones.
that home.
This is pretty good.
That's my Thanksgiving pie.
You just take that.
I'll take that
Actually,
home.
you can't take it because round 2.
Oh yeah, they're
Do you wanna-
gonna eat it.
Yeah. So
So the person who wasn't the arms and who was just sitting there is now gonna eat this pie. You have 30 seconds and eat as much of this as you can. Are you guys ready?
wait, we
Are you
got
ready?
Contestants in place.
Girls,
Look
put
at
your hair
this.
back.
Justice, this is some good BFF work
That's a
going
best
on
friend
here.
right there. What
Holding
are you
your
doing
friend's
to
hair back.
support him?
He's
You're
talking.
He's talking.
All
He's
right.
talking. Okay, we ready for it? All right, eat as much as you can. 30 seconds. 3, 2, 1,
Get
go.
in there. Get in there.
Wow.
Wow.
Full sin.
I don't know if you can zoom in on that guy, but that's incredible.
Full sin.
He's going to be done with this in like 10 seconds.
I don't know if he's eating it or just
This
digging
is a
it up.
delicate. Yeah, I think he's just digging. It's more on the table than I think in his stomach.
He almost hasn't taken a bite, but I love it.
This is
You're
great.
not eating it.
It's all just in his hands. We have fistfuls of pumpkin pie
Okay,
here.
we got 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, let's everybody stop. Let's see. Let me see your hands here. Okay. Also, I'd love to know,
I love
how
it.
did it taste?
What about you? Was it
Can
good?
you say that one more time?
Okay,
Wow.
she's not doing
Wow,
too well.
I'm not gonna. The interview.
Efam, who should have
The
won?
post pie interview is a little rough. You just dug it out with your hands, though. I think.
I don't know if you took one bite.
I mean, Efam, yeah, you let us know who you think should win this because it's a little unclear to me. They all seem about the same.
Yeah, if we're going on effort, this wins. Effort,
And, we don't have towels for you guys to clean up with.
SK wins.
SK wins this round?
Yeah, I would say on
All right,
effort, yeah.
All right.
SK wins.
Okay. While you guys are digesting your pie,
Okay.
we're going to tell you the
you go.
last round of this competition. And so we're going to do a little something called turkey bowling. And so I would say the partner who just didn't have to eat all the pie should maybe do this one. And so you're going to come over here
up over
with
here.
Justice and I. And what you're going to do
Right
is you're
there.
going to roll a frozen turkey. You can come this way.
Yeah, right there,
Frozen
perfect,
turkey
right there. And
into
you
some
can stay.
bowling pins that we've set up. All right, we got everyone ready?
Are
First
you
of
guys
all,
ready?
hold on. What's your strategy going to be here?
I'm just gonna throw it.
Just gonna throw
Just
it.
gonna throw
That's
it.
That's interesting. All right. Wait, Justice, maybe let them pick their turkey. Maybe just scope it out,
Yep.
find the right turkey.
Scope it out,
You know how
whichever
you
one
would
you
like a
think's
bowling
best.
ball?
Like an 8-pound,
Yeah.
15-pound.
Yeah, but
That's the one I picked up. Interesting
it
choice.
is interesting.
I
All
love
right.
it. Okay.
So be careful on this side here. All right, maybe give you some
Do you
space.
want bumpers up? Do you want bumpers?
Yeah. Can we get
We
those?
don't have
We don't
bumpers.
have
I'm
them.
sorry.
Just bowl it. All right, here we go. Wow, strike.
That's a strike. That's a strike.
That's a strike. That's going to be tough to beat. I love it. Well done. Okay.
Choose your turkey. Let us know.
You got 2 options. You going to go with that one? A
Also,
little
what's
more
your
round.
strategy? Are you going to go more like a grandma toss, or you think like a maybe over the head?
I'm thinking through the legs, but it's all about the angles, you know?
Oh,
That is true.
Are you really going to go through the legs?
That's,
Yeah,
if you.
Okay, we're not
If
ready
that's-
yet. Don't.
yeah. They all
This
gotta
is
be up.
interesting.
Okay.
The pins are set up a little differently this time, but
That
we'll see
doesn't
if that.
look like bowling
it's not
pins,
quite the same as a
but-
typical bowling pins, but you got this. Here we go. Okay.
I love it.
Oh my gosh! Just 2 left.
2 left. I love
Hey,
it.
that was great. All right, now you get to
All right,
also
last but not
choose your
least.
turkey here.
The Cobras.
Team
You got
Cobra is
3
coming
options. Great choice. Team Cobras,
All
how do you
right.
feel going into the final round? You feeling good?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
in. What is your strategy going to be here? Just because they just knocked over all the pins by accident down there.
Definitely just try to get all of them down again.
That's a good strategy for bowling.
I
is
love
to
it. Have
just
you
get
ever
the
seen
pins
bowling
down.
pins set up like that?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I feel like you are maybe at a disadvantage here, but we're going to have to go with it for the sake of time. And so, Cobras, let's see what you got. Oh,
I love it.
you know, I'd like to say if those were set up in a pyramid, you maybe would have gotten a strike. Yeah. So, okay, so we have our EFAM voting in who they think the winner is. I'd love to just
hear
maybe
from
get a tally. Do any of you think you maybe deserve to win?
Who do you think wins? SK said they put in the work. SK. Everybody thinks they should win, but the winner is SK.
SK!
It's about effort, and I thought honestly they competed today. Good.
I think you
good
guys
job,
all did
everybody
great,
else. You still
though.
have some pie on your chin, by the way. It's hard to look
Embarrass him
cool
like
and win
that
at the
online.
same time.
Hey, you guys did great, but hey, we're gonna head
Great
back into
job.
the auditorium with Ryan and Chelsea right now.
Hey guys,
That was something.
it was impressive.
Very impressive.
I think we lucked out in here.
We did luck out. I think we definitely drew the right straw. We are here back in the lobby.
Yes.
We can look at pie, but we don't have to eat it.
Correct.
And eat turkey, but not bowl it.
Right.
So this is the right place to be.
Maybe you're just now tuning in and you have no idea what this is. This is
Yes.
Rhythm Night. It's
Welcome to Rhythm Night.
Welcome. Our monthly experience for middle and high school youth
Yes.
at Elevation. So we're having Friendsgiving. That's what we're talking about, friends. We're eating lots of food.
Yes.
In preparation for more food Thursday.
For more food. And then
Yeah.
also in preparation for a great conversation tonight.
Yes.
Yes. Rhythm Night is a place where we get to hear from some of our best friends,
Yeah.
like Michael Todd,
Pastor Mekon Carter.
and then now tonight, our very own Pastor Steven Furtick is going to be with us having a conversation about building your own brand.
Yeah, so Pastor and a group of our youth got together probably a few weeks ago now, and we captured the video that you're gonna get to see tonight. And it's all about finding our identity in Christ. You
Yeah.
know, we live in such a social media driven world.
Yeah.
It can be easy to fall into that trap of needing acceptance. And acceptance isn't bad, but it's what we do with it. So our hope is that tonight, through discussion, our youth will be able to discover a little bit more about who God created them to be.
Yeah.
And they can represent the true brand that,
Right.
that God has given them.
Not who they pretend to be online.
Right.
I do the same thing.
I
think
know.
this sermon is not just for, it's not even a sermon. This conversation is not just for students. It is something that he talks about in here too. It's still something you're going to
Gosh.
struggle with the rest of your life.
Yes.
This idea of comparison. But
Yeah.
it's a very powerful conversation.
It
We got to
is.
see it earlier, and I'm very excited for everybody to see it.
So make sure to share this,
Yes.
whether you're on YouTube or Facebook. Somebody you know, whether they're a teenager or maybe even an adult, needs to hear this message tonight. So get them
Yeah.
on. We still have some time.
Plenty of time.
And while we're getting ready,
Yeah.
it is Friendsgiving.
Friendsgiving.
One of the things that my family likes to do on Thanksgiving is actually play games. We
Oh,
pull
yeah.
out all kinds of charades and we make fools of ourselves. But today, we're going to play a game. What are we calling this game?
This is called the Best Friends game. This
The
is
Best Friends game.
Chelsea and I are best friends, and so this is our
Almost.
Best Friends game.
Yep.
Practically best friends.
So what we're going to do, we have whiteboards. I'm going to give Ryan a whiteboard. We also have mic stands.
We have mic stands to help us.
Yep, because our
Thank
hands
you.
are going to get a little
I feel
tight
like a
here.
jazz singer. That's right, guys.
And what we're going to do, we're going to show a question on the screen. You're going to see the question. I'm going to try and answer how Ryan would answer the question. We're both going to write our answers down, and we're going to show it, and we're going to see how close we
So
get.
you're trying to guess mine, and I'm trying to guess what you would say.
Yes.
So okay,
Yes.
I got it. We're good.
Yeah,
we're
it'll
good.
make sense.
Yeah.
Okay, Ryan,
Yes.
what is your favorite Thanksgiving side dish?
My favorite Thanksgiving side dish. All right. We did not
All
practice this beforehand, so hopefully this is right. All right, here we go. Ready? First one. Mac and cheese yams.
I thought you would like yams for sure. I don't know. You seem like a yams guy to me.
Yams. I couldn't even confidently tell you what a yam looks like.
It's like a sweet potato, right? No, I don't know.
Oh, sure. All right, my turn. Okay, Chelsea.
Yep.
Another thing that's big during Thanksgiving, a lot of television watching.
Oh yes.
What is your go-to binge television show on Netflix?
Oh, this is easy. So easy. Let us know too what your best binge Netflix series is below in the comments.
There's really only one answer here.
There is, and I hope we say the same
I hope
one.
you write the thing. Ready and go.
The
Office!
See. Okay, who's your favorite character on The Office?
Stanley.
He's your favorite character?
I don't know. Probably Michael Scott.
Jim is my favorite character.
Jim is fine.
Jim
I
is
like
great.
Jim just fine. Jim's great.
Who's
Michael
the
Scott.
Who's the worst character?
Andy Bernard.
No! Oh my gosh.
Who do you love? You love Andy Bernard?
Gabe. Gabe is the worst.
Well, I don't even count those
Gabe.
later seasons. That's not even. That's
Okay.
not quality Office. All right. Next
okay.
question.
Next question. What is your favorite sermon series by Pastor Steven?
Okay. I got it. I know it.
Oh gosh, I have to guess yours. Oh, this is hard. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go with it. Sorry, I'm so slow. Let us know what your favorite sermon series is below. Forgive me, I'm a slow writer. All right.
And.
What? Okay.
Work your window. This is great.
That
We did
is-
not do this beforehand.
Nope, we did not.
I asked you different questions.
That's my favorite.
It is my favorite too.
Hands
For real.
down.
I love it. Work your window. I think you can still get to it on the YouTube.
Yes.
I think.
Go check
All
it
right.
out.
All right. We have time for one more question.
One more.
All right. Let me think. What was one of our questions we had down here? Hold on.
We've got our little cheat sheet down here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is great. I have a lot of thoughts on this. All right. Are you okay with listening to Christmas music before Thanksgiving? Yes or no? Yes or no?
Okay. All right. There's only one answer to this.
No! We really are best friends. This
We
is
are.
great. And by the way, you cannot listen to Christmas music before Thanksgiving.
No, no. I mean, it's Thanksgiving.
Christmas season can start as soon as you put that last piece of turkey in your mouth. Until then, just let Thanksgiving have a minute.
You don't decorate for Christmas.
No.
You
wait,
don't.
just wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, well, thanks for playing. We're
Not to be a downer on Christmas. We love Christmas.
We do, just
but
in its right time.
Thanksgiving gets skipped over so much. They're like,
does.
Halloween's over, and let's decorate the tree.
But like, I want to be grateful.
Let it breathe.
Let it breathe. Let it breathe. Let it go.
Yeah.
Let it go.
Let it go.
There it is.
There you go.
Hey, well, we're gonna get started in just a minute.
I'm gonna hang on to this mic stand.
Oh, that's great. I should do my mic
Play
stand as
something
well.
splashy, band.
Yeah! We are going to get started in just a minute, but maybe you are tuning in and you didn't hear our message earlier. We get to join a conversation with Pastor Steven Furtick,
Yes.
talking about our brand and our identity, and we look forward to letting you get to be a part of this as well.
Yes, it's gonna be awesome.
We're going to be talking about this right afterwards.
Yes, so when it's over, don't leave.
No.
We're gonna have a conversation. We want you to be a part of it too.
Yes.
So stick around for the whole thing.
See ya.
See ya.
You don't know who Kurt Cobain is?
No. I
Yeah,
will
you
look him up
like
later
him.
tonight.
He's a junior.
Well, he's not like the most spiritually enriching person you could
That's
study.
why I don't know who it is.
Nirvana, right?
Yeah, did you ever listen to Nirvana?
Not a lot.
Is that the band with like the smiley face?
What do you like? What do you like to listen to?
Country.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. I like Chris Stapleton. I like Joss Turner.
I love Chris Stapleton. What's
Tennessee
your favorite?
Whiskey.
That's your favorite?
Yes.
That's my son's favorite.
I'm not gonna sing because I can't sing.
He
I want
is.
to meet him though. Like y'all was on my top list, so we gonna meet him.
One
day.
What's up, Chris?
Yeah,
Let's arrange
go.
something.
Who do y'all want to meet? Who would you love to meet?
Jake Gyllenhaal. I just
You
thought
want to
about
meet
it.
him?
Yeah.
Probably athlete-wise. Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, he's amazing. You a Clemson fan?
Big
When you
Clemson
played at
fan.
Clemson? I just asked because I recently took the boys to their first Clemson game.
Justin Bieber, probably.
Yeah.
Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah.
Oh,
you want to
yeah.
meet him?
Yeah.
You want to call him right now?
Who? Are you
call him.
No, you're kidding.
Yeah, no, we'll call him right
Wait,
now.
who? No.
I don't know.
Wait, Anna.
We're gonna FaceTime him right now.
You're joking. You're joking.
If he calls out,
Pause. Can you come to a rhythm night? Oh my god.
Oh, he's really doing it.
No, you're kidding.
Hey, don't freak out. Just act like he's a nice person. He's a wonderful guy.
Can we have him at rhythm night?
That's what we're gonna ask.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I thought he answered.
I gave it my best.
thought the great.
I'm great with it.
All
Then.
right, closer,
Just
so
like
that was good.
keep calling it just on the
Yeah,
side.
no, I'm not doing
I saw him in
that.
concert though, so that's good.
Yeah, is he in concert today? You think? What do you think he's doing right now?
At home, doing nothing.
You think he's in a school library?
I
Talking
think so.
to amazing kids?
Oh,
Like at this moment, he's not doing anything as cool as I'm doing. I guarantee that. This is
That's
way
That's
cooler.
true.
that is true.
Yeah, that's a fact. But what do you guys think about it? Because, you know, one thing I wanted to talk to you about, I know a lot of you don't hang out in the library all the time, I bet. But it brings back memories for me regarding just the temptation to seek so much attention. And it's very different now for you than it was for me even. Not the general idea of seeking attention, but just all the different outlets that you have to seek attention, to give your attention to, and not just social media, but just kind of the way the world is wired. And I wanted to talk to you about that today because I think it's relevant to the thousands of youth that are a part of our church. I had this thought the other day to write my 13-year-old a list of 13 things that I wanted him to know. I don't know if he liked it or not, but I gave it to him. And one of the things I was trying to get across to him is you got to be your own brand. Like you can wear Off-White, you can be Nike, Adidas, whatever you want. You know, you can fill your closet with Gucci stuff or not. But if you don't know who you are, and if you don't know that you belong to God and that you're called by His name, you'll actually spend your whole life like trying to cover up all of your insecurities. And I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about that a little bit today, not from a standpoint of brands, but the standpoint of identity. I wanted to start with you. What does it feel like to grow up in a culture where everybody's performing for each other on social media all the time, and it sometimes isn't like real life? Do you ever feel that way?
Yeah, every day.
Yeah.
You kind of look at people and you're like, you just kind of feel them out. Be like, are you who you say you are? Like, and if you
Do you think it makes you trust people less? The fact that there are all these online personas?
Yeah, it's difficult though because I feel like it's so easy to portray yourself as someone you're not. I'm an athlete, so I post a lot of football on my Instagram, and so I feel like, some people may look at that and be like, he's not much of a caring person, but in actuality, like I care a ton. So
You feel that pressure to present yourself a certain way? Like when you're doing something in everyday life, like I gotta post this.
Just to fit in.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Yeah.
I feel that every day I go to school because like I'm kind of like a nerdy person. So I feel like I needed to become an athlete in order to fit in because when I was little, I was always bullied around in middle school.
For all of us here, there are probably multiple personas that we put on, depending on who we're around. And it makes you really miserable to manage all of that because you always have the stress of, well, who do I need to be for them right now? And, having integrity is being one person all the time. It doesn't mean that you don't bring out different sides of your personality based on who you're with, or that you can't have different levels of trust with different people. But I look at it more that the core of who you are and the values that you have doesn't change for approval or for acceptance. You can find yourself surrounded by people who accept you for what they think you are, but nobody knows you for who you really are, and there's nothing lonelier than that.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder, has there been like a time when you've actually got acceptance from someone and then you got it and you're like, I wasn't really what I thought it was gonna be, felt a little hollow on the other end. Can you think of a time like that?
So I moved here in January, and I hung out, I just kind of made friends with anyone because, didn't really have any. Yeah. And so I hung out with these girls, and they were all just kind of doing things that I wouldn't necessarily be doing, and it was cool to have friends, but then it was kind of just those aren't the type of company I wanted to have. And so it was kind of just I got validation with them, but it wasn't the validation that I needed. So it's really hard. But
How hard is it right now? I've been graduated for 20 years from high school, but I wanted to know, how do you think it's changed from what I experienced 20 years ago to what you experience today? Enlighten me, because I don't know. And I know you don't know what it was like for me either, but what would you think?
I think there are more ways, more platforms that people are exposed to get picked on. I think that's the difference in when you graduated versus what we're going through right now is even just social media, that's just huge. But just the connections we have on our phones, it's so easy to type and send that and to not even mean what you say. Someone can say something online, but in person, they may not really say that.
Right.
And so I feel like there's so many different platforms that you're able to say these things and how destructive they can be.
You're so right. It's anonymous, and so it makes it easier to hide behind it.
yeah.
Have you guys been on the other side of that? Just the whole ugliness of that online anonymity? He shared a little bit about being bullied. Have any of you experienced that in a digital realm? Because that was new for me. If you wanted to say something to someone when I was in high school, you might have to fight them. Yeah. Or you would say it about them and it'd be word of mouth, but it's certainly what you weren't able to start a fight with your thumbs. Yeah. Have you been on the receiving end of that, or have you been a part of that?
I personally haven't been receiving it, but I've experienced it in a group message, people doing that, and it's just you're uncomfortable because it's I want to stand up and I want to say something, but those are my friends and they're going to be the ones that are going to pick on me. You know what I mean? So you're just sitting there seeing it, and it's just uncomfortable, and that's where you're torn because you don't know what to do. It's you want to, that's the right thing, but then you're going to be the one that's
But you know it, you feel it in that moment.
Yeah.
You feel your faith or your character or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, even now, where I am in this season of my life, I'm I feel that God is calling me higher, but it's hard to go there because it's I'm gonna lose these friends, or they're gonna look at me like that, or they're gonna judge me and treat me the way they're treating those other people.
Is acceptance the number one battle that you fight? The
Me,
desire to
definitely.
be accepted?
Yes, yes.
There's this feeling that you get, you just enjoy being accepted. Even if the person you're being accepted from doesn't really mean anything to you, but just hearing it and letting it feed you is just satisfaction enough. You don't care who it's coming
Why
from.
do you think we do that, that we allow the opinions of people that we don't even know become the scorecard for what we think about ourselves? Why would we put that power in other people's hands?
Insecurity.
You think so at the root of it?
I think it's wired in us.
Yeah.
I think the more we give power to people who don't know us, who are not invested in us, and who are not really a part of the life God has called us to live, to judge our lives, not only is it miserable for us, but we get so off course. You know, you get to create your own scorecard for what matters to you in living for God, and you don't have to subject that to a cultural norm.
Right.
I don't want to give the idea that when you reach age 20 or 30, or I'm coming up on 40 now, that all of these battles go away. They just change shape and change form, but you're still fighting the same basic desire for acceptance.
Yeah.
And that desire isn't bad. It's how you fulfill it that determines whether it's destructive or whether it's actually sustainable.
Yeah.
So I think knowing yourself is the first step to that, because until you know what your default setting is, you won't know how to design your life around it to make sure you don't just fall into those grooves and ruts. And for me, it goes to everything. I know that I can't handle Instagram. It is crack, it is heroin, it is crack heroin. For me, living by design is sometimes knowing like, I have to delete that app off of my phone for this season and focus, because I know my patterns of distraction.
Right.
And I also know my priorities. So when you know your priority in this season, and it changes from season to season, it's not always a set thing like, well, God is my priority. Okay, let's be more specific, let's be more practical. What is God calling you to do right now? And then you have to design your life around that. And really, you're not fighting against distractions from others. Most of us are pretty good at distracting ourselves.
Right.
How did you know that what God was calling you to do, you know, like at the age of 16, was a purpose, was his purpose for you, and wasn't a feeling or wasn't an emotion?
I don't think you ever know until you're in the process of doing it. I think God is more committed to us knowing his will than we are to knowing his will. And a lot of times I used to view God's will like some hidden Easter egg. And God was gonna send me on this chase, like, find my will, you'll never find it here, you know? But really, like, knowing God comes from trusting God.
Yeah.
And that comes from the experience of obeying God. And sometimes you get it right, and sometimes you get it wrong. And sometimes God will use something that you think you want to get you to the place he wanted you to be all along.
Yeah.
And what you will call a disappointment was actually your destiny. It was actually the thing that God wanted you to do. But you don't get this by sitting in a room and praying about it. God, I don't want to miss your will. Oh, this college or that college.
Yeah.
Right.
What college you go to is not nearly as important as who you're going to be when you get there.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times our stuff about God's will is all about what God wants me to do, where God wants me to go. And I think God's will is more about who God is making me, who I'm going to surround myself with, who I see God as.
Yeah.
And the only way for you to see what God has next for you is to give yourself fully to what he's got you doing now.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think you have to know, in terms of what you're trying to build with your life, are you going for the short-term gratification of having something to do Friday night? Or would you even be willing, if it took that, to sit alone on Friday night because you have some values and you have some direction and you have some vision? You might have to make that decision sometimes.
Yeah.
I think really like specifically seeking God for your standards and not apologizing for that.
Right.
Like, this is my sexual standard. This is what I can't be around. This is where I'm at right now. And I'm not saying that this has to be your standard, but this is mine. And when you live that way, it's actually attractive to people.
Right.
I've noticed that a lot of the things we do to fit in, it actually causes us to lose our appeal. One of the reasons I fell in love with Holly is because I felt she was different than a lot of other girls.
Yeah.
And she wasn't different in that judgmental way, or she was trying to be different for different sake.
Yeah.
It was just she was very committed to her values, and I found that attractive. So sometimes the most attractive thing you can be is different.
Yeah.
And people will silently admire you even if they outwardly reject you.
Right.
So like going off about like staying to ourselves, like how do we stay true to ourselves like in this world where we're looking for validation and like approval and like trying to be someone that we're not. Like,
It's impossible to say, be yourself and don't change, because the process of life is discovering who you are, and it takes layers and layers of removing who you thought you were to find out who you were. So to say to someone who's 16 years old or 14 years old or 12 years old, 18 years old, stay true to you. The question beneath that is, who am I? Who am I? I have so many different ways of I have so many different expectations. I have so many different things that I think I'm supposed to be. You know, it always frustrated me. People would say, be yourself, but then they're also saying, get better. And I'm like, well, which one is it? Should I be myself or should I get better? I don't think the goal is to just stay stuck in this version of yourself. And I don't think change is about becoming something different than what you are. I think it's becoming what you actually were all along. Before all the layers came on of what you thought you were supposed to be and how you thought you were supposed to act. Like I said, I'm coming up on 40 years old, and I'm just really learning some things about myself, what I like, and some things about what energizes me and what drains me. So don't be afraid to be open to that. God wants to show you that. I think if you see it more with that mindset, you're not afraid to change, but you realize I'm changing into my actual self. I'm growing into what I was all along. You guys are great, by the way. Like, this is like, did they pay y'all? Are you cast members? You're amazing.
I get it.
Hey, so thanks for tuning in. We are ready to talk about this whole concept of brand and identity. And, I was so encouraged to see some of our youth really being vulnerable in a place of, hey, this is where I've been. This is what I've struggled with. And then pastor's vulnerability to say, hey, we all struggle with it too.
It doesn't stop when you get a high school, middle school.
Right.
It just gets worse.
I'll say,
I don't know if that's comforting or not.
Discouraging, but
You just didn't realize it as much in high school.
But I think what it does is it proves how important it is for us to have conversations like this regularly. So I don't know if you're tuning in and maybe you watch Rhythm Night every single month, but if you're not connected to a group of people where you can talk about this kind of stuff regularly, talk it out, get in an online e-group. If you're close enough to one of our physical locations, get here. Because we always need to be around people who can support us and encourage us and inspire us to help navigate this, no matter what life throws us.
That's great.
Absolutely.
So we're talking about brands, and I even saw some of the comments rolling in earlier. Somebody said they love seeing brand name things at Goodwill, and I don't know if you know about Justice. Justice,
The Goodwill Guru.
loves-
The
he's a
Goodwill Guru.
Episode one.
There's a YouTube episode about it.
Episode 1.
There is.
It doesn't have the most views. I thought it would, honestly.
No, well, it's close though. It's like higher than you would think.
I'm going to say Mike Todd got me.
Just right behind him.
Just by
Gets
Mike Todd,
everyone.
the Goodwill
He gets
Guru. Hey,
everyone.
go look at that though on our Elevation Youth YouTube page. Tim and
Yes.
Justice go Goodwill shopping. And Justice has all the insider tips and tricks on how to get the best.
Absolutely.
I do think brand is such a cool way to talk about identity, though.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I haven't heard it like that before, but I think the way Pastor set it up was amazing, and it just fits so perfectly.
So when you hear the word brand, what do you think of? Like, what are some brands that we know of? Maybe some that you look for at the thrift store or that are important to you. And why is that brand, I don't know, why is it important? Why does it matter? Why does it stand out?
Why do brands matter?
Yeah.
Ryan, you're the brand expert here.
That's not even close to true.
It's close.
But what are
Maybe-
some brands? Like Nike.
Nike is,
Adidas,
yes.
Apple.
Coke,
Yep.
Coca-Cola.
Reebok.
Making
Making a comeback right now.
They're making a comeback. The Reebok Classics are making a great comeback.
It's true.
New Balance. If
My
you're
dad
if you're a
shoes. I
dad.
was gonna say, my dad loves
Faded
those.
Glory.
Dad shoes are back as well.
Walmart.
Classic.
Oh, that's great.
What'd you say? Do you have another one?
I said dad shoes are coming back as well.
Dad shoes. So
They are coming back.
talk to Justice. But
So what about celebrities that have a brand? Because you can have a brand on your Instagram. You can have like, I'm not going to post that picture because it doesn't fit my brand. You know what I mean?
I think too, a lot of times people, a brand is just like the spirit about them.
Yeah.
And a lot of celebrities, I think, they try to make their brand, they don't care about anything. I think, in front of other people. So I think when I was younger, I would see celebrities all the time. And I would always think, man, they just don't care what people think about them at all. Is that true? Absolutely.
100% care.
I remember
Definitely.
I was an athlete growing up, Colleen. I don't know
I've
if you
heard
knew
that
that.
before, Justin.
But I remember when I was playing basketball in high school, and before I had the great revelation that I wasn't going to make it in the NBA because I'm 5'8".
was it the height? It was the height that
Yeah,
did it.
5'8", and
That did
I'm
it.
just not good enough. Not going to make it.
Well-
But Isaiah Thomas, he's a great basketball player. I don't know if you know him. If you know him online, let us know.
Not the young one, the older one. 'Cause there's an Isaiah Thomas.
No,
that's in
I'm
the
talking
league
about the
now.
young
You're
one, the
talking-
one who's like 30.
Oh, you are talking about the young one.
Yeah,
You're
he's
talking
really
about
good.
the old one.
Why would I talk about the old one? I'm 24.
Okay.
I'm talking about
I
the
would
one
talk
who
about
I-
the original
Anyways,
Isaiah Thomas.
let me keep
from
going.
the Pistons.
I
You're
love
talking
this.
about the young guy from that
That
played for the
shows
Huskies.
how old you are.
That's fine.
You're an old fool.
Burn.
Well,
Okay.
But anyways, let me keep going.
my brand
And he's a
is
great
age.
basketball player.
Old guy. Old Spice.
Okay.
Anyways,
Justin, I'm so
Isaiah
sorry.
Thomas. Sorry.
it's a serious thought.
Yes.
But he's a good basketball player, and I remember him. I went to his Instagram. This is when Instagram was just getting big. In his Instagram, like the bio, it said, "If when I die, if the only thing I am known for is how good I was at basketball, I failed." And that just made me realize, I was like, man, someone I'm striving to be like this NBA basketball player. I want to have this brand that he has. He realizes that basketball isn't everything that matters.
Yeah.
And so even like if we make it to the top, or whatever we think the top is, our brand, it's got to be something else, something deeper, something that matters
More
with its
substantial,
church.
yeah.
It's more
Right.
substantial.
Right.
It's something that will last.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love whenever I read that.
That's great.
No, that's
So-
great. I wish I had heard that like when I was in middle school, because I think back to the group of friends I had in middle school, and my parents didn't make as much money as all my friends' parents. So
Right.
I remembered we went to thrift stores when thrift stores wasn't cool, and I would look for the brand name. Back then, Old Navy was like, you wanted Old
The
Navy.
Old Navy fleece.
Yes.
They
yes.
still make great fleeces.
But I just remember, like, I had this one friend, and she always got clothes. That was like the thing I strived to have, was like brand name clothes. I wanted to be like my friends. So I would go hang out at her house, and she would be getting rid of clothes, about to send them to the thrift store, but I would get first dibs. And I remember walking into school with these designer clothes that weren't mine, feeling like a fake. Because I literally had the thought of, man, what if they find out that I didn't get these clothes for myself, you know? And so I wish I had heard something like that when I was younger of, hey, there are more important things than that. And if I had spent that time on how to become a better person, you know, I look back, I'm like, wow, I said that online. Like, that's not who I want to, what I want to be known
the
for.
time hop, the old time hop on Facebook.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
MySpace.
Yes.
I will say, Dan Casper says, yes, I remember when Old Navy was the bomb.
Thank you, Dan.
Dan, so true.
Yes. Hey, and I see some people asking, do we have online youth e-groups? We're working on that. Rhythm Night is the best way for you to get any teenagers connected. So once a month, if you've got youth who want to be in an e-group, at least get them on here, get them commenting, and we'll tell you a little bit at the end today about Youth X, our summer youth experience, that they can actually come be involved as well. Someone's saying, when I hear brand, I think of representation.
Yeah.
That's good.
And that's perfect. So Colleen, what's your brand? Like, what are you
man,
known for?
I
What
would
do you
say-
This is going
represent?
to be great.
If I had to sum up my brand, I would say I am all about creating a shared experience for people and helping build community in a fun way. I would say that's like a big passion of mine.
Yeah. So how do you do that? Like, what does that mean in the practical, in the day-to-day?
Man,
do you intentionally find yourself thinking about, okay, how do I do this in a fun way?
That is kind of my only, I think, train of thought for the most part, is how to do things in a fun way, which is good sometimes. And
I've seen
probably
it backfire for you a couple of times, though, because everybody's like,
Go ahead.
When are we going to do the fun thing, Colleen?
Oh,
and they
yeah.
always look at her for like, hey, aren't you planning the
They're
party
like,
or the
"Aren't you
murder
doing the
mystery
thing?"
or the boat trip or something like
So
that?
it
And
does-
she's like, well, okay, I do, but I was
But
going to plan it.
Maybe
yes,
you
but
plan something.
Maybe you plan it.
I do sometimes flip on that.
So
But
your
no.
brand's working because people think they're like, when is the fun thing happening?
Right.
Then
Colleen.
also, even just listening to your answer right there, it was well thought out. You've obviously thought about your brand before. I think so many
I have.
times we unintentionally create a brand for ourselves without even realizing it.
Yeah.
And you've thought about that. Hey, this is what I like. I'm passionate about having fun. I want to bring the party to the life, or the life to the party. I don't know which
party
one.
to the life.
I love
Party to
bringing
life.
to the
Either ways, you're gonna do both.
Yes.
But anyways, you've thought about it.
Right.
And when I was
Yeah.
younger, so many times I think I was creating a brand for myself
Right.
without even realizing it.
Right.
And
Well,
a
you try
lot
to
of it
create
is
someone else's brand. You're
Ex-
like, that's who I
You'll-
want to
you'll
be
just-
that.
you'll
I wanna do
replicate
that
what they
instead,
have.
instead
Yeah.
of actually having some
It's
individuality.
intentionality.
Yeah, it's great. Totally.
Yeah, even now thinking about, Colleen's the funnest person I know. And like
Go
you
on.
even say,
Stop.
oh
No,
gosh. And
Stop.
so I think I'm even now like personally convicted of, I know what people have said about me. Like I know what I represent. I know what people see. I feel like I'm quirky, I'm kind, whatever. But I don't know if I've intentionally like, created, it sounds like a personal mission statement. I'm like, oh, wow. Like, I don't have to let what people are saying of me, whether it's good or bad, I don't have to let that define the future. I could take that, adopt it into my life. Like, okay, what do I want to be known for? Now, how do I go into every day, first thing in the morning, whether it's a sticky note on my mirror reminding me, bring the fun today, whatever.
Right. Because that affects your decisions.
Proactive with your identity. And not letting someone else tell you this is who you are, who you need to be.
Yes. And then it's not overwhelming to be lost in it.
Right.
It's like you have a game plan.
Right.
Yes. I love it. Yes. So this month we're also talking about Galatians 5, specifically verses 22 through 23. So this is the fruits of the Spirit.
Yeah.
Justice, what the fruits of the Spirit?
Ready,
Put
and
me on
go.
the spot.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Love, joy, peace. Ryan, is this you or me?
I'm waiting.
Love, joy, peace.
It's more of an echo. I was going to help you in case you
goodness,
dropped one.
gentleness,
This is the group support.
self-control. I think
Faithfulness, did you hit that one?
it's really just
Kindness.
a lifestyle, faithfulness, so I don't have to include it. It's a
Do you
brand.
feel like Justice displayed patience with you in
I
that
don't think
moment?
there was a lot of patience.
I
It was,
paused before I
on
said
that
what
one.
I actually wanted to say, so that's a little bit of patience, isn't it?
So I guess someone tell us which of those qualities fit best with your brand.
Good question. Colleen.
I
see you
answered,
thinking a lot.
listen, I answered the brand question, which I would say is one of the hardest.
You did very good with it.
I got it. I would hope my brand, we're talking about personal brand,
Yeah,
right?
Yes.
yeah.
I hope mine would be, I think, faithfulness. And because I want to be generous, just more than just what I give and money, but just with my time and encouragement to people.
That's great.
And I just hope when people think about me that they would just say, man, he's faithful. He's a faithful friend. He's always there when I need him. Even whenever I feel like I don't need encouragement, he's going to bring it. And I just want to be seen, I think, in my personal life as someone who's faithful in everything that I do, in work, in deed, when I'm with my friends, when I'm not. I just want to be faithful. And so I hope that that's what I am.
That's
Always
great.
Get my back. Am I faithful?
You are faithful. That's just, from what I've seen, Justice.
If one thing defines justice,
it is faithful.
Thank
You really can't go wrong with any of them,
No.
honestly.
No.
It's
I
the
think-
fruits of the Spirit.
Yeah, no, I was just saying,
they're all
pretty
good. I'd
good.
like my brand to be most of these.
Yeah, I was
If
like,
they're
I could
like
just-
an all of the above.
I would say all of the fruits of the Spirit are my brand.
Okay,
That's what we're saying.
So you're saying that, and I know the fruits of the Spirit. Self-control is definitely not one that is.
Yeah, I would
that's
say that's
like
near the bottom
super
of
bad.
That's also near the
for all
bottom
of
of
us.
mine.
Like I think about, I love ice cream. We were talking about binging Netflix. I binge. If I watch a show, I don't just watch one. I'm going to watch maybe 8 hours last Saturday. That might have
Wow.
happened, But
Maybe you do need help.
okay, it doesn't happen all the time, guys.
It's like
Just
a counseling session here.
you have a day off. You got all your work done. It's like a reward.
There you go.
But
That's a good perspective.
Whatever you got to tell yourself.
But having those like in God's word really is a helpful guideline because
Right.
it helps
Right.
put me in check. When I
Yeah.
go and I'm reading the fruits of the Spirit, I can say, "Oh, they're all my brand." Well, I want them to all be my brand. I don't want people to look at me and say, "Whoa, you need help because you
Boy,
watch 8
Chelsea
hours
sure
of
has
TV."
zero self-control.
But so I don't know. Is self-control the lowest for all of you?
I would
Oh,
say
that's
it's probably, I would say that's probably my
Patience.
lowest.
Yeah, but it's probably the one that I feel like we
for
need
you.
the most,
Yeah, you're probably right.
which is probably why it's difficult. Ryan's
Yeah.
counting them out.
Robin
I'm doing it
Davis.
in my head right now.
Robin Davis is with you on the faithfulness, Justice. And then CJ, I said his word for 2019 is going to be faith. So
Oh, that's
I would say that's
awesome.
probably yours as well.
Add lullness and we'll be...
There we go. At lullness. And then you're all on the same page. Faith.
They're not all winners.
Oh, boy.
That's great.
So, what kinds of things distract you from the brand that you want to be? What gets in the way?
I mean, I think Pastor hit it so well in that video, the social media aspect too. I think
Right.
you can get caught up so quickly in comparing yourself. And we talked on that just like a minute ago, but I think you can feel like you're in a much worse spot in getting on social media and then striving to be.
It's only comparison. There's
It's all
none
it
of it
is.
is just like, I am so happy for them.
Right.
It's like, no, I wish I had that, or I want to do a little bit more of that. Or,
Yeah.
man, how come I can't do that?
Or look how many
That's pretty much
look
what
how
social
many
media
followers
is.
they have. How come
Yeah.
I don't have that many followers? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It just you can spiral so quick.
Very quickly.
Very quickly on that. And so, yeah, even Pastor saying he doesn't get on it anymore. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't be on it. That sounds pretty good.
No, that's totally true.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing about me, I forget my keys and my phone all the time, everywhere. I locked my keys, actually a friend's keys in the car earlier today. That's beside the point. But one day I accidentally forgot my phone on my way to church. It was just sitting on my nightstand plugged in. And I got to church and I found myself in the moment like, oh my gosh, there's a youth area. I want to get a cool video. Nope, can't get a video. I'm just going to enjoy the moment for me. And then I get into the worship experience and sometimes I'll take notes on my phone. I hope you're a note taker, but like I was forced to handwrite on my notebook. And I got so much out of that sermon.
That's awesome.
More than I had in the past month, just because I was able to focus in. And the phone, it's like...
Because even when you take notes on your phone, you're getting texts, you're getting Instagram alerts, and like you can get pulled out of a moment in just a split second.
I found that it was the same for me. I've been off social media for like 16 days now. What is it, November 18th, 19th?
Yeah, the 18th.
19 days.
18th.
Anyways, I'm going through November without social media. And it wasn't so much of a comparison thing. I mean, I think even unintentionally, without realizing it, I am always comparing, like you said, Ryan. But it was just, for me, a distraction.
Yeah.
I realized, like, if I want to live this life and people to see my life and say, man, the fruits of the Spirit are evident in his life, then I'm going to have to eliminate some distractions.
Right.
And it's not just social media. It's everything on my phone is constantly pulling me away of, I think, the man that I want to be. So it's good sometimes just to put it aside.
Yeah, absolutely.
And say, it may not be comparison, but if social media for you is something that's taking you away from being the man or the woman that you want to be, it's good to just say, hey, for a month, it's not going to hold me back. I'm going to walk into church without worrying about being on my phone. And I've really, this last month, 19 days, 18, whatever day it is in November, I've enjoyed so many moments because I'm just present.
That's
and I'm
great.
not worrying about capturing it and hoping other people will see it. I'm just present. I'm there. And it's been great.
Pastor just talked about in a sermon a couple months ago about how many of us literally wake up and go to that right away.
Yes.
And he's like, that's the very first thing that you kind of hit your brain with as soon as you wake up. And I was like, man, that honestly shifted something in me. And I was like, that is not the first thing I want to be looking at.
Right.
But you make time for that, but then you don't make time for being in God's word. Like some mornings I'll look at Instagram laying in bed for 20 minutes and then I'm like, oh, I'll read this chapter of scripture and then go get some coffee and get ready for work. And I was like, that's what I did. That's how I prioritize my time.
Yeah.
It's just like, man.
And if it wasn't like just a time killer, that would be one thing, but it's an energy drainer too.
Yes,
so even if I have tons of time, maybe I have 2 hours, maybe I have a full Saturday and I get on Instagram or wherever, whatever social media platform you're on, even being on there 10 minutes, I try and go to my Bible and I'm like, man, I'm having trouble getting into God's word today.
Yep.
No, I just distracted myself
So
and
good.
made it
It's
so
great, Chelsea.
hard. Kyle said something really great that I really want to point out. Kyle said, I think the biggest is trying to fit in not just with my own crowd, but to be liked by all crowds and causing compromises in my character.
Yeah.
And when I hear that, I think about Jesus and I think about how Jesus didn't try to be liked by all the crowds.
great.
Right.
You know, we can easily think, oh, to be like Jesus, I got to like everybody and be liked by everybody.
Right.
And I think we're misinterpreting what Jesus came on earth to do. I mean, you know, the religious people didn't like Jesus. They said, you're not doing the things the way you're supposed to be doing it. And so if that's where you're at today, I would just challenge you to get into God's word and study the life of Jesus and figure out, man, in what settings was he standing out against the crowds? In what settings was he bringing people in? Because there is a time to bring people in, but if we can follow that desire and that heart of like, I want to give God glory and I want to be who God has created me to be, even if it is different, then you can fully own that a little bit better.
So good.
That's great.
Yeah, I love that.
Love that.
All right. So Pastor said this really, really great thing that was really, really challenging. Not challenging. It was convicting to me because I've been challenged by it. This thought of like, people say, well, just be you. Well, how do you know who you are?
Right.
I can't change. And so I want to ask, when he said change is about becoming who we're meant to be, well, what brand do you think God wants you to be? And where can you grow to be more of that brand?
Yeah, I love
We're
that.
allowed to change.
Yeah.
Right.
I love that. I think the older I get, and I'm only 24, but the more I'm realizing, I feel like God wants me, it's so simple, but to love him and desire, I think, what he would desire for me, and then just to love other people.
Yeah.
And used to, I would get so caught up. I say used to, like 6 months ago, I would get so caught up in, really just comparing and looking at other people and where they're at in their life. And I remember being in high school and just thinking, man, I don't know what I'm going to do in my life. So my default was to compare. And so now what I do is I try to reset almost my spirit and myself and just think, I'm going to focus on God and I'm going to love people. And I heard a quote the other day, and it's really one of those that didn't just like change me for a moment, but really helped me. It said people underestimate what they can do in 10 years and they overestimate what they can do in one. And the moment I heard that, it just kind of shifted everything for me. And then I just decided, like, I'm going to become who I'm going to become. And there's not a time limit on it.
Right.
Yeah.
And me becoming who I am, you know what it is? It's seeking after God.
Right.
It's following him daily and really desiring that. And then it becomes a desire. And that's just who I want to be. And it's helped me so much.
I think I fall into that, like, there's no pressure. Like, I'm not going to be the ultimate me now.
You're not supposed to. You are being built. Ephesians 2:22 says, I am being built together.
Yes.
Right.
That's great.
You're being built. You're not, I was created. You're like, no, the whole thing's a process. You're supposed to be in it.
But there is such this desire to, like, I want it to be now.
Oh, I want it now.
I want
patience is one of those things. We're talking about fruits of the Spirit. I don't have patience
That
sometimes.
might be low on the list.
Yeah.
You know, like.
That's awesome.
So people were asking, how do we know what God wants us to be? Like, how do we know? And I think back to a sermon series that Pastor did. This was a few years ago.
I think I know
God's
what you're gonna
will
say.
is whatever.
I was gonna say that.
So good.
Yes.
You know, like he said, it's more about who God is calling us to be than what he's calling us to do.
Right. Yeah.
But even with that, I mean, I think about how we were called to be like Christ.
Yes.
And it can be different. I'm not going to be just like Justice. I'm not going to be just like Colleen. But if we can all really, really strive and work towards how do I become like Christ?
Right.
That means getting in God's word.
Yeah.
That means studying and reading and maybe not just reading 1 or 2 verses at a time,
Right.
but say, I'm going to read Matthew.
Right.
And I'm going to read 3 chapters today and just learn about his life and figure out the principles that can apply in the crowds or, you know, the
With
child
your
like
friends.
with your
Yeah.
friends, you know,
Right.
all of that. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
No, I think that's spot on. And even going back to that sermon, I was that person who was like paralyzed by decisions because I was afraid I was going to miss what God had for me. Because I was like, if I make the wrong decision, I'm going to get outside of God's will. And that whole sermon series kind of freed me of this like idea that I was going to miss out. Like if I'm following God, he's going to guide me. He's going to direct me. He's going to either open doors or close doors. And I can just walk forward and trust him. If I'm following after him, it's all going to work out. So it's a funny play on words because it's God's will is literally whatever.
Yeah.
It could be anything. And it brought so much freedom for me just to realize that. And so just going back to that, like if you're following after God, I think your brand is going to kind of take place the way he wants it to.
Yeah.
That's great.
Love that.
That's awesome.
Let's see, what are some other comments? Colleen, you saw one, didn't you?
I did. I lost it. Hold on. Oh, I just thought this was cool. Princess said, I heard somewhere that our brand should be the Holy Spirit. And I was like,
Ooh.
that's pretty awesome.
It's a pretty good brand.
That's so good.
Yep, that's my new brand.
Yeah, change your mind.
Taking that one. Forget
That's
faithfulness.
So we're talking about finding God's will. And Pastor said we find God's will by trusting and obeying him. So I want to ask, is obeying God a priority for your brand?
I think I would like to say that it is a priority for my brand. Now, do my actions always reflect what I want to say? No, they don't. I
Thanks for being honest.
I'm just being honest. I don't have the discipline that I know that I need to have. I don't have the self-control, the patience, the fruits of the Spirit. Where I'm like, cool, these are kind of charting near the bottom for me. Those are ones that I think are really going to help me, fully trust and obey Him in the right way. So, yeah, I would say yes, it is a priority. No, I don't always show that.
Yeah, Glory says it seems scary just to trust. And I think
Totally.
that is a huge part of it for sure.
100%.
Yeah.
And there's this like pressure. We're talking about we want it now. And sometimes we feel like I need to be me, which means I can't change. But that's where God's grace comes in because maybe you felt like you need to step in and obey God in some area and you fail. You didn't do it. And now it's like, oh, well, great. What do I do now?
Yeah.
Right.
There's grace. There's forgiveness.
Right.
You can change. You can take another step.
Right.
And that's where we learn how do we actually take the fruits of the Spirit? How do we take who Jesus was, apply it? Man, I failed this time. Okay, I'm going to make a decision, and I'm going to try and get it right the next time.
Fail forward.
Fail forward. And you might fail again.
Yes.
What were you going to say?
It's just like understanding that we're playing for the long haul.
Yes.
It's not instant gratification.
Yes.
We're not going to feel like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all of the fruits of the Spirit just lined up perfectly in our lives, and everybody can see that it's evident.
Right.
It's in the long haul,
Right.
and it's being okay with that, and it's knowing that whatever we do, if we're including God, I think there's a peace about that.
Yeah.
And then we're okay. Then we feel like we're obeying, and I've seen that time and time again in my life. And when I'm okay with the long haul, I feel like, man, God is with me. Everything's gonna be okay. I don't have it all together, but hey, I'm working on it.
Right.
You know.
Glory has a question. She says, how do you get past the fear of trusting?
How do you get past the fear of trusting?
Yeah.
I think you have to, it's what Chelsea was just saying, though. I think not being afraid of failure and knowing that when I try something and trust that this is the right direction, that God's got me in his hand, and I'm never going to be able to step out of that if I believe in who he is and his goodness and his love for me.
Yeah, I think too, if you can remind yourself of just who God is, all the things that all of his
That's
attributes and all the things, like if you understand who God is and how powerful he is and how mighty he is, I'm not saying that makes it like a piece of cake, but when you can remind yourself of God's goodness and his faithfulness and that he hears every prayer that you pray, it's a little bit easier to be like, okay, I trust you, God. I know that you're in control and that whatever happens is going to be your will.
Yeah. One thing that's been really freeing for me recently, I've discovered that I am someone who I don't like to feel emotions. Like I have happy and have angry, and so if you asked me 2 years ago, I'm like, oh no, I don't really deal with fear. No, I deal with fear. I just haven't acknowledged the fear. And so one of the ways I'm learning to trust him greater is by being okay with being afraid.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes that fear and being afraid or being sad or being disappointed is exactly the emotion that I need to acknowledge, say it out loud.
Right.
Because in that moment, God's able to say, hey, even if this happens, I'll be there. Hey, remember this time. But I'm not able to be reminded of God's faithfulness until I acknowledge, hey, I'm a little scared right now.
Right.
I don't know what to do. And then it's like the Holy Spirit just gives me this a small reminder. It's nothing like God's big voice coming down from heaven, but it's like I remember a friend, or I remember a conversation, or I remember maybe I was scared that I wasn't going to have enough money to pay something. And I remember the time that a pipe burst in our apartment and then we got insurance money that paid our rent the next month. Like those little memories. I don't know. Friends are a huge thing for me too.
Yeah.
Like I can try to do it by myself, but I know that I don't have the discipline or the self-control. We're way better together.
Yes, absolutely.
Way better.
That's great.
Yeah. So I'm curious if you're dealing with this concept of trying to figure out God's will, or maybe you just need prayer in that. Will you comment below maybe what's an area where you feel like God is calling you to step out and obey him in something? We want to pray with you. We want to support you in that.
Right.
Maybe it can help build your brand and help bolster your confidence in your identity, who God's called you to be. I don't know. Does anybody here have like something that you feel like, okay, I need to obey God in this season right now to line up with who God says that I am?
Yeah.
I know I put you on the spot.
No. For me, I think it was getting off social media for a little bit because it was a distraction. And one thing I've realized that, I don't want to be super spiritual, but the enemy, oftentimes won't throw things at us that it's like, oh man, this is a distraction. This must be the enemy. Let me dodge this and get out of the way. But really, it's things that I seem to enjoy. That can really weigh me down. And so for me, it was social media.
Right.
And, it was a distraction, and I was doing a little bit of comparing. And what I realized is I know the man that I want to be. When Pastor talked about shallow values equal empty victories, that shook me because I realized I do want to be a man who reads the Bible, who displays the fruits of the Spirit. I want to be able to love people. But I wasn't doing any of that because my default from the time I woke up, from the time I went to bed, was to get on social media. And so why would I give myself something that really, it doesn't have to do harm, but it's a distraction for me and it's pulling me away from God? Why would I let that in my life? So for me, I just felt like I need to be obedient for a month, get it out of my life, see if I can operate and like function and be the man that I want to be. And it's been great. Yeah. But it was really, it's a small step of obedience. Some of you may be watching this and you're like, wow, being off social media for a month, I don't even like social media. Just for me, I had to make it personal. And I know for me it was a distraction. So I put it aside, and really I've been focusing on God, and I feel like he's been speaking to me clearer because I took away something that I think was blocking his voice.
That's awesome. And I think you can so easily talk yourself out of what God's telling you to do, because you can make the argument like, that's probably not God. That was probably me just having like a random thought. But I think it's always better.
Back to my social media.
But it's always like, I've always thought that anytime I ever feel that, I'm like, I would much rather think I'm obeying God than maybe miss something he's telling me to do.
Sure.
And so really even for me, that's like kind of been just something that I've tried to live by. I'm like, I could be wrong, but I'm going to pretend that this is what he's telling me, and I'm going to go for it.
Let's take one more question, and then we'll wrap it up here. Okay. Kyle, he says, this is a difficult question for us as youth because we don't exactly have full control over our lives just yet.
That's true.
We're still under our parents, our teachers, etc. So how would we combat negative control? How do you do that?
I do want to free you up. Is it Kyle?
Kyle,
Let me free you up a little bit. Even the older you'll get, you'll always feel like you're never in full control. And I think what you've got to do is you've got to become okay being in that place of not in full control. Because think about this, probably the most comfortable and free you've ever felt in your life was whenever you were completely surrendered to God. And surrender means giving up control.
Yeah.
So Kyle, right now, I just want to encourage you, when you get older, when you're 20, when you're 30 years old, you'll feel like you don't have control over everything.
Yeah.
That's
So true.
okay.
It only gets worse.
Yeah, it gets worse. Be okay with it. See
Right.
what does not being in control do for you? Does it pull you away from God, or does it actually draw you nearer to Him?
Yeah.
And then I think from there, it can really produce something great in your life.
Yeah. And I would just say control what you have control over.
So good.
I mean,
so
you
true.
have control over lots of things in your life, even
Control
as a high school
yeah.
student. And so you got to control what you can control.
You can control who you hang out with at school.
Yep.
You can control what you say.
You can control your response,
Yes.
which is huge.
And that's hard sometimes
Yeah.
because sometimes we think that's our default. That's our default. I react this way when this person does this. But if you can take this concept and you can take this message and you can apply it. So go, as soon as you turn off whatever device you're tuning in on,
Yeah.
if you can say, okay, what do I default to?
Right.
When I'm around these people, how do I automatically react? When I'm in this setting, how do I react? When I'm here, how do I react? You've got to be able to take this and not just hear what we're saying as like the golden way, but if
Yeah.
you can't internalize it and personalize it like Justice and Colleen were talking about, then this is going to go in one ear and out the other, and you're always going to be dealing with this fear, this uncertainty, this I don't know who I am, I feel like I'm a faker. So one thing that we're having all of our youth do at our locations, and we're going to encourage you to do this on the other side of the screen as well, whether you're a teenager or you're an adult, we're writing out some different statements. So I am a blank person and ways to be this. We've got room for them to do 4 of those. So if I am a blank person, if I am a kind person, here are some ways I can accomplish this. Right. If I am a patient person, here are some ways I can accomplish this. If I am a trustworthy person, here's some ways, practically speaking, that I can accomplish it. Maybe it means getting off social media.
Yeah.
Maybe it means calling a friend once a week for accountability. Maybe it means telling your parents, hey, this is what I've been dealing with, and I need to be honest with you so that you can help lead me in the right way as well. So take this and apply it. I don't know, any other thoughts, guys?
This is great. This is a good conversation.
If you need a cheat sheet, use Galatians 5:22. The fruits of the Spirit would be a great place to start.
That
is a
patient
very
person.
If you're struggling filling in the
joyful
blank.
person.
Yes.
Those are great.
And every week we upload a video on our YouTube channel specifically around this Rhythm Night content. If you look in the description underneath the video, these discussion guide questions that all of our youth and our leaders are using in e-groups are linked there.
That's great.
That allows you, maybe you're not physically in a group, but you can actually take this, give it to some friends, create your own Bible study, use the YouTube app at school, at the lunch table, ask these questions. You can actually create your own e-group in your school, in your home, in your community, in your neighborhood, whatever. These tools are meant to help equip you so that you can influence the culture that you are surrounded by all the time.
That's great.
Man,
Yes, so
this was great.
So great.
Love this conversation.
Yes, this is our last Rhythm
I
Night
know.
of the semester.
That is the saddest
I
part.
know, it's sad.
It's real sad.
It's sad. So
But don't worry though, because we still have the Elevation Youth YouTube channel.
Yes, we do.
Nope.
So it's great if you're probably watching this either on our YouTube channel or on Facebook. But please go to youtube.com/Elevation Youth. You can see all of our episodes. I think we have almost 70 episodes now.
Sounds right.
Everything from watching Justice go thrift store shopping to conversations with Mike Todd and Pastor Mekon Carter to
this message that you
this
just
message
heard
right
will be
here.
loaded. You can go back and watch
It's
it.
probably live right now. I think so. I think it's live right now. I think hope so.
find out.
I think it's up
It will
right
be
now.
tonight.
So go watch that. And then also, yes, since we do not have Rhythm Night in December, hang out on our YouTube channel. There's going to be great content.
Every
We're going to have
week.
new episodes, 2 episodes a week right now. So it's going to be great. So tune into that. And actually, I think we have some of the highlights from our most recent episode, one of our most recent episodes.
Take a sneak peek.
The Insta
Take a look at
cringe, I
this.
believe.
Y'all look like vampires. I know you've been told
Whatever
that.
I'm dressed like, you're gonna be dressing like in 2 years, so be careful what you say because it's on video. Boom
No.
roasted.
You ever seen like Monsters Inc?
Yeah.
You remember the dude who, when they were trying to suck Boo's memories out, and the kid got inside of the chair instead, and the guy with the big lips?
Oh, yeah.
Why you look like him in this picture?
Hey, who else thinks Evan's poodle has a better hairdo than
Yours says youth videographer. It doesn't say contract videographer. I'd like a job one day, which is new.
Def Leppard called. They want their hairdo back.
I mean, like, I get a guy being tall, but how awkward is it that you're a girl and you're so tall you have to bend over for a picture with your mom?
Evan, you shaving the beard you don't have on here?
Humble brag!
You went through a phase here, I see, where there's a lot of you. You're really proud of kind of your look for a while.
That's why your mom said you can't wear earrings. That's why you don't have them on today.
Oh, he called you out. My Todd knows that, Crawford.
Oh, yeah. Him and Chunks. Yeah. They aren't friends. Chunks is just lead team, okay?
Let's talk about faces. You got one look. Did your modeling career not take off because they asked you to be diverse and you said, I have one look?
My buddy Tim Summers posted a picture, right? But you look like the dude on the Warheads package. Like, you literally look like...
Here's Ansley. I think she's taking a mirror selfie in like American Eagle or something, but she definitely looks like she's about to pee her pants.
You know you're old when you post the premiere of Lost.
No, it's like the little duck face back in middle school.
Yeah, I put my tongue in because I used to have a gap and I was insecure, so there we go.
You look like you spent a week in Forever 21 and came out and you don't know if it's the 4th of July or you're going hunting about to shoot bow and arrow, dude.
Ryan.
Wishing I had some friends.
There it is. So make sure to tune in the rest of this month.
If you like that, great. If you don't, there's plenty of other stuff
We've
on
got
the YouTube
lots
channel.
of variety. It's great.
Take a look, watch a couple, see what you can find.
So no Rhythm Night in December. Our next Rhythm Night will be January 20th. But we are announcing some great information
This
tonight.
is the best news of the night.
This is like Ryan's favorite part.
It
I'm
really
gonna
is my
let you.
favorite
I'm gonna
part.
let you mention.
I'm
the
so
beginning.
bad at all
I'm gonna
the
get in the
numbers
details.
of it, though.
I got the details.
Okay, you got the details? Okay, I'm so excited to tell you that YouthX 19 is happening, and it's happening on the dates that Chelsea's going to tell you because I always forget, and I want to make sure that if you are able to come and you're part of the E-Fam, that you actually get here on the right days. So,
Yes.
Chelsea, when is YouthX?
Well, real quick, I want to tell you what YouthX is first because
Please
you
do
might not
that.
know that it's important for you to know what
That's actually,
it is.
it's hard for you to get excited if you're like, YouthX, that doesn't sound like, I don't know what that is.
YouthX is our summer youth experience. And
Don't call it a camp.
Don't call it
It's
camp.
not camp.
It's
There's
not
no bunk
conference.
beds. There's no.
No.
It's great.
So we want to show you
Yes.
what it looks like.
Take a look.
Check it out.
Feel brand new, feel brand new, feel brand new. Me and my crew, feel brand new, feel brand new. So we feel brand new, feel brand new, feel brand new. Me and my crew. Nothing you can do when we thunder up. We hit the stage, we ready to rage, we thunder up. Stay in your place, we get in your face and thunder up. We hit the stage, we ready to rage, we thunder up. Stay in your place, we get in your face and thunder up. Thunder up. Thunder up. So feel brand new. Thunder up. Thunder up.
So yes.
That's way better than summer camp.
Yes, and way better than if we had tried to describe it and tell
They've
you.
even described all that. Pretty
Yep,
sure?
nope, me
no,
neither.
Not even a chance.
So middle schoolers and high schoolers, here's the thing though. If you are currently in 5th grade, that means this summer we consider you a 6th grader.
Yes.
So if you're currently in 5th through 7th grade, you're coming to middle school YouthX. The dates are July 14th through the 16th.
Yep, and that's here in Charlotte.
Here in Charlotte.
Yep, so get here in
Yeah,
Charlotte.
if you register, we'll give you those details in a second. But when you register, we'll reach out to you. We'll tell you everything you need to know. You just need to make a way to get to Charlotte on those dates. High school, July 16th through the 19th. That means you're currently...
Rising 9th graders through graduating seniors?
Yes, so if you're currently in 8th grade through currently in 12th grade, it gets a little bit confusing. But
There
you're
you
going to
go.
want to be here.
Yes.
And we're opening early bird pre-sale
We
prices.
have never done this before.
Never.
We're pretty excited.
The early bird pre-sale prices are cheaper than ever, like cheaper than any YouthX ever.
Yep.
Like you want to jump on this.
And that begins on Saturday, December 15th. Middle
Yes.
schooler, $139. High school, $159.
Yep. And that
which is-
pre-sale is going to end January 27th.
Yep.
So maybe you're getting ready for Christmas. Maybe you're a parent tuning in. Maybe you're a teenager and you want to go to YouthX for Christmas. Tell your parents to hop on the early bird pre-sale December 15th.
Yep. And there's a limited number of those, so make sure you get there and get
on
one.
it quick.
Yes.
Yes.
And then full price opens up February 8th. Is that right?
February the 9th.
February
pretty
9th.
Close.
That was very close.
One day off.
And so that's going to be $189 for middle schoolers, high school $209. So
Yep.
You can save like $50 if you register early.
Yes, and
So-
if you wait and you register late, middle school is $229, high school is $249.
So obviously you can see the pattern here. The earlier you get into YouthX, the better it's going to be for you.
Yes, so don't wait.
And it's going to be, you saw the video, what it was last year. It's going to be, I mean, we can't even describe some of the things that we've planned so far, but it's going to be amazing. You're going to want to be there. So
yeah,
YouthX, look out for that registration opening up Saturday, December 15th.
Yep.
There we go.
Hey, well, we love you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in.
This is awesome.
Can't wait for January, but we will see you on the subscriptions of the YouTube
Subscribe.
channel.
Click it.
I don't know if there's a
Hit
button
that button.
somewhere,
Hit it.
but
Hit
subscribe.
Subscribe because
we believe in the youth.
we believe in the youth.